Hey all you wonderful people! Today we are talking about my 5 favorite keyboard shortcuts in Premiere Pro to help you become a more efficient editor. I'm going to try and do a 5 and 5 format, so 5 tips in 5 minutes, not including this little intro. First, you'll want to have your keyboard shortcuts set up the same as mine. Now I'm on a Mac, and I'm not entirely sure how all these translate to a Windows machine, but on a Mac you want to go to the Premiere Pro drop-down menu, keyboard shortcuts. It's Option Command K for your first keyboard shortcut. I have to get a refill in my awesome retro train mug, so I'm going to do that and let you guys make sure that you have all those keyboard shortcuts set up, and I'll be right back. That's much better. The first keyboard shortcuts that I wanted to make you aware of, it's actually kind of like a set of them. It's the plus, the minus, and the backslash keys. And all these do is the plus will zoom into your timeline, the minus will zoom out, and the backslash will zoom to the extent of your timeline and back. Now the reason why these are very handy is because that way you don't have to use the Z, go to a different tool, click, 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 and you know, just back and forth between tools. That always helps, you know, if you can avoid switching through tools. So just using those plus and minus keys to navigate that way. I love the full extent one, especially if you're not using an out point. Now there's a keyboard shortcut, so here's a bonus, is the O key will set an out point on your timeline, and that will limit the extent of your export. And I really like that because I kind of get an idea of where I am in my edit, and then I can just pop right back, hitting that key will pop you right back. Now this is another favorite of mine. I used to use the C key to get to the blade tool and then have to hit the V to get back to the selection tool. I hate switching tools, so the fewer amount of times I can do that, the better. So the X key will actually just cut all the clips on your timeline right where the playhead cursor is. Or if you just want to cut one particular clip in the different layers, then you can select that, hit X, and that makes that cut. And if you do have that selected, then it selects the piece previous to your playhead. So you can hit delete, one of the delete button keys, whether you're trying to bump everything or not. But that is a really efficient way to make a cut in your timeline. The next two keyboard shortcuts are similar to the X key in that they make a cut, but they will also do that next action for you by deleting either the previous or the after. It's called the ripple trim edit, either the next or previous, depending on which one you're using, and it is Q and W. The way you can remember this is Q is towards the left, just like anything previous on your timeline is, and W on your keyboard is to the right, which would be the next. You need to be careful when you're using this because the way it works is it basically makes a cut through everything in your timeline that is not locked and deletes it up to that next clip or the previous clip, depending on which way you're going. So if you don't want to delete that, say you have like a music track that you're cutting to and you don't want to delete that, all you have to do is lock that over on the side. But just make sure that that's locked. You can tell by the little zebra stripes, the slash patterns. Those are those. So they're a little confusing for me at first, but once I started using them, I really found it sped up my editing process because I wasn't duplicating the effort. You know, once I just have to hit one keystroke and everything's done. So works pretty well. The next tool is called the slip tool. Now this will actually just turn on or switch you to that tool. Your cursor will change. You can see when you click Y, your cursor changes. This tool works by just clicking on a clip and dragging to the right or to the left. And all you're doing is sort of slipping that footage either from earlier or from later. You're leaving the extent of the clip, the length of the clip, the duration the same, but you're just moving the footage within that. So if you know how long your clip needs to be, but you're just trying to find just that right spot, you know, in that piece, and it'll just kind of bring up two little viewers and you just see where the in point and the out point will be. So the next keyboard shortcut seems kind of basic, but I didn't know about this until not too long ago, less than a year ago, and it is using Option and clicking to copy a clip. Now, some of you may have already known about this, but I had never found out about this. And so the way that works is instead of selecting a clip, copying it with Control-C or whatever, and pasting it, whenever you paste something in Premiere Pro, it goes to the active layer, and that can be a problem if the active layer is the one that you have everything else on, so it's just gonna like plop over everything. Using the Option key, you just hold Option and click and drag, and you can see here it just duplicates that footage or that clip, and then you can move it wherever you want to. So that is a very useful tool for me because I'm often duplicating. I want another section of that clip or whatever, and instead of going back and finding it, whatever the case is, this is a useful tool for me to just be able to quickly copy without having to change any keys It's actually like less keys that I have to press. And one really helpful tip is when you use this in combination with the zoom out to extent. That way you're not trying to like get the timeline to move while you're holding, you know, trying to drag a clip or anything. So I'm not sure how close I came to 5 and 5. I guess we'll see when I edit this up today, but man, I am so close to being done with my 1 month of daily vlog uploads. I started here in January and I wasn't sure if I would even make it or what it was gonna do for me or what was gonna happen, but I am happy and proud and a little bit relieved to be here. I would love to continue doing this. My busy schedule just doesn't really allow it. I will be continuing with weekly uploads or roughly weekly uploads. I'm going to try and stick to that schedule. We'll see how everything goes for me, but I just wanted to thank you guys so much for coming on this journey with me. It's been exciting. I have just learned a heap and I appreciate you guys coming along. The support that I've received from comments and thumbs ups and view counts just climbing. I really appreciate that. Yeah, tomorrow will be kind of a wrap up to the month, and then I have some plans. Like I said, going forward, we'll do some more tutorials and gear stuff and just get out, and I really hope to bump that production quality up in my videos now that I'll have a little bit more time to work on them. But yeah, I just appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for coming on this journey with me, and I'll see you tomorrow once again.